So I asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the American family? And it's chilling what it said. Tell me if any of this sounds familiar to you. Here's the response. If I were the devil, I would convince men that fatherhood is optional or unimportant. I would encourage absentee fathers or passive, disengaged fathers. So the top of the list is go after the father. AI said if I were the devil, I would make marriage seem outdated or unnecessary. I would normalize divorce. I would push selfishness over self-sacrifice, leading spouses to prioritize personal happiness over commitment. I would convince women that motherhood is a burden, not a blessing. I would push career and personal fulfillment as more valuable than raising children. I would normalize outsourcing parenting to schools, daycares, and screens. I would use entertainment, education, and media to shape children's values away from faith and family. I would normalize rebellion and disrespect toward parents. I would expose kids to harmful content that distorts their identity, morality, and purpose. I would promote moral relativism, no absolute truth, just your truth versus my truth. I would turn people away from God by making faith seem outdated, intolerant, or irrelevant. I would replace biblical values with secular humanism, materialism, and self-worship. I would push technology and social media as replacements for real relationships. I would blur the lines between men and women's roles, making both feel lost in their purpose. I would label masculinity as toxic and femininity as oppressive. I would encourage reckless spending, materialism, and dependence on credit, making families so financially stressed that both parents must work, leaving kids to be raised by institutions. I would water down biblical teaching so it's all about feelings and not truth. I would make pastors afraid to speak boldly about marriage, family, and morality. I would turn churches into social clubs instead of training grounds for spiritual warriors. And now it goes back to dads. I would get dads addicted to porn, alcohol, drugs, or entertainment so they check out of real life. So does any of this sound familiar? Does any of this sound like what's going on now? This is artificial intelligence response to my question, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the American family? Dads, this is happening right now all around us. And that's the bad news. The good news is God has already won the war, but it's up to us as dads and as men to fight the daily battles. Strong fathers of faith can reverse these attacks and fight against them with a lot of strength, a lot of courage, a lot of faith, a lot of prayer, and following the spiritual disciplines. You got this, dads. Be strong and courageous.